Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 173. It is Thursday today and another gorgeous spring day. I'm going to sound like a broken record for a while, but it just feels so good outside. I think it's going to 80 degrees. The sun is shining. Star was panting when we came up the hill. I mean, I was too, but he was really panting when we came up from our short little walk. It is already warm enough where he can feel the shift in the temperature, and his body is just trying to catch up, trying to get used to it. I think we're supposed to get rain, which probably would be really good for our flowers, but it is glorious outside. So when I walked Star this morning to go to the bathroom, it was still dark out, and I went by our little tree. I don't know if you saw the picture of it, but if you haven't, on Instagram and Facebook, I think, I shared a picture last week of this beautiful, I believe it's a weeping cherry tree at the yoga place where we go. Yeah, it was last week on Thursday, and it's in full bloom, and it's just so pretty and huge. It's an old tree that's been there for a long time. And then I shared a picture right next to that of this beautiful weeping cherry that I believe it's a weeping cherry. Don't hold me to the names of the trees. When I was doing my run last week, I took a picture of a tree that's much smaller but had a ton of blooms on it. And then I put a picture of our little tree that is a new weeping cherry. It's only been in the ground for a year here at our home. And we've never had a blossom or a bloom or anything on it except a couple little leaves last year that all very sadly fell off in the fall. So it's just been this sweet little tiny tree with these branches that are all brown and nothing on it. This morning, when I went for my walk with Star, in the dark, it looked like there may be a bud. So when the sun came up and when I was leaving for yoga with my mom, we stopped to look at it, and it's true. There are some beautiful tiny little buds that are, I believe, going to open today because there's so much sunshine. So I took a picture of those buds, and that is what I will share today for the podcast. And so I've been pondering in yoga and then in my meditation back at home, like what does that symbolize for me, and how do I feel about it, and what would I share with you in this space about it? So there's a little bit of a story, of course. There's always a good story. There's a little bit of a story about the tree and the buds and, one day. So I'm going to share all of that with you. And I don't remember how much I've shared of this in this space. Okay, so 2 years ago, before that, probably 2.5 years ago, I started realizing I had this book that wanted to come through me, and I did not know that I was going to be a writer of books. I mean, I like writing articles, but books seemed a little bit of a far stretch, and I don't know what I know to fill a book up. And so I started recording this book, and it took form, took shape, and once it was in written form and I had the cover and everything ready, and I was uploading to what was then called CreateSpace on Amazon as a self-publisher, it was all unknown. I wasn't quite sure how to do the edits and the review process and how long things would take, and it just, it was just unfamiliar. And so when it came time for the final proof to go up, and then all of the logistical stuff was in place on Amazon, they give you this notification that says, we're now going to review it, and then when we approve it, it's going to be live on Amazon. It'll probably take 3 days. is what they said. And so I uploaded it on today, April 11th, exactly 2 years ago, thinking it probably won't post till the weekend. Well, it was up and live in like an hour, and I did not expect it. And so I was just moving around my day, and my beautiful friend April sent me a message, a screenshot that she had purchased it. And I was like, you can't purchase it. I haven't even purchased it. I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean you bought my book? And I was in the kitchen looking at my phone. I remember this so clearly. 2 years ago, this is when my daughter was a senior in high school, and my son was, what would that have been, 8th grade. And so it was in the afternoon. They had just gotten home, I think, from school, and I'm in the kitchen looking at my phone going, what? What did April just say? I don't understand. And then I went to Amazon, and I literally sat down on the floor because my whole body just had this sort of shaking, like, what? What? No, I'm not ready. I wasn't prepared. It's not supposed to happen this fast. And my kids, we were just in there laughing and just so excited. And also, what? How did it happen so fast? And so then, of course, I had to go on and order my own copy because I don't want April to get a copy of the book before I get a copy of the book. And it was just so funny. It was so exciting and so funny. I could just feel all of that in my body right now. It was amazing. I just remember my daughter looking at me as I'm sitting on the floor, and she's like, what are you doing on the floor? But my legs just wouldn't hold me. Oh, God, so hysterical. So then we sent a message to my husband, and we're like, we're going to celebrate tonight. We're going to go to dinner. And so we all raced around, and we ended up at dinner, and then I created this huge upper limit for myself because it was too much excitement. And so we all got into a fight at the table, and I cried the whole way home, and then took a bath and went to bed, and boom, all this energy just landed. And then I unraveled over the next few days and weeks, how I felt about this thing that I had been working on in my own little cocoon actually being available for people to buy and read. And I remember just going, well, I was publishing it just to publish it. I didn't really think people would read it. And people were reading it. It's so funny. Someone just said that to me the other day. She's like, be careful what you wish for. Oh, goodness. So anyway, I remember saying to my husband after our huge big, all of us fighting at dinner, a few days later, a couple weeks later, I said we should get a tree and plant a tree in our front yard and let it, symbolize this book and the birth of this book. Great idea. And then, we took our daughter to college, and our son started high school. All this stuff happened. There was a lot going on, and so we didn't actually plant the tree. And then last year, God, 2 years. And so last Mother's Day, a year later, I was out of town for a wedding, and I came home, and my son and my husband had bought this beautiful tree and surprised me. And, of course, all these other amazing celebrations for Mother's Day, beautiful prepared meal when I walked in the door. It was just such an amazing Mother's Day. And so they planted this tree, and it just was very tiny and trying to get its, roots in the ground. And so it had a few little leaves, but not a lot. And my husband put a spotlight on it so that it's always lit up. It's right in the center of our flower bed in the front yard. Well, in the fall, I had sketched this picture of how I wanted our home to look, a bigger vision of what I wanted our home to look like, and moving some trees and grass and things around, and creating a water feature at the front entrance. And, just all these beautiful things came through in this meditation. And so I sketched it out. And so in the fall, my husband and I moved everything around in that front flower bed. And we had to uproot the tree and very carefully put it back down in the ground, and it was this whole thing, and I was really concerned the tree wouldn't make it. And, we get so I get so attached to the symbolism in my life, and I'm like, this tree represents how people are going to receive my book. Like this tree is the one-day tree, so it needs to be properly anchored into the ground. uh, my sweet husband just rolls right along with it all. So, and of course, we have this awesome watering system that he's created. So the tree's always watered, and then it's got a spotlight on it all night. Oh, this tree gets so much love. And so, fast forward, here we are, April 11th, 2 years from the day that I published my book. And that book really is my story. It's my journey as a soul in a human body here on earth, and what it's felt like, and the experience of waking up. And so this morning when I saw that little bud, I'm like, oh my gosh, no way. No way. My tree's not that smart. Consciousness doesn't work like that. Symbolism isn't that accurate. But yes, it is true. This beautiful, glorious little tree has these buds that are bright pink, beautiful pink. I took a picture. You can look at it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty, and it's on exactly the 2-year anniversary when the book was published. So I shared that with my mom. She said, well, that seems very important. Yeah, it's a wink from my guides, from source, from consciousness, that everything is in divine timing and perfect alignment. And as much as we try to plan and orchestrate and have things go the way that we want it to go, when we just show up, surrender, allow energy to move, things happen so easily and with such grace and with such gloriousness, with such glory. It's way more fun. It's way more fun this way. If you had told me the story of the tree, I would have just thought you were crazy. If you told me I was going to write a book, I would have thought you were crazy. And yet here is this little tree blooming today. It is just the beginning. In the sketch that I drew of our house, I called it the one-day tree, and it's huge in my sketch. It's just this beautiful pink blossoming gorgeous tree, and it's right in the center of the entrance to our home. And by the way, the water feature was just added over spring break. So we have the water feature. It's all happening. It's all happening. So, all of that to say, it's just a really sweet anniversary for me today. And tomorrow I am going to take the day off to be still, to play, to create, to sketch, to envision what it is that I am creating over the summer. I've had some beautiful play dates over the last month or two with my family, and yesterday I gave myself permission. I'm like, Friday, I'm taking a day just to play with my soul and daydream and see what is it that I'm moving towards next. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I wish you a beautiful spring weekend. May you enjoy all the glorious buds that are coming through in your area of the country or the world, and I will see you on Monday. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.